Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation. Today we're going to be talking about the graphing software MATLAB. This will be just a brief introduction, so let's go ahead and get started. MATLAB is a programming software that allows its users to graph intricate graphs, plots, models, and more cleanly and efficiently. MATLAB has a variety of uses ranging from STEAM fields to business to anything that can require graphing technology. MATLAB works similar in ways to other programming softwares, things like C, C++, Java, Python, and more. If you have not had experience with these softwares, don't worry. We will talk about how to actually successfully use the software. If you have, it'll just make your life a little bit easier. How to do this is called syntax. Now, syntax is actually how you tell the computer what you want it to do. To successfully execute your desired result, you must know how to properly input a set of commands. With the correct syntax, you can do different things such as adjust the line thickness, font color, size, so on and so forth. Let's dive a little bit deeper into syntax itself. When designing and graphing line plots, there are a few key pieces to note. First and foremost, deciding what type of graph you need is the first step. Once you've got the type of graph that you need, you must define your parameters for that graph. So let's go ahead and look at this syntax a little bit deeper. This first line here defines the parameters for the x-axis. Now, the 0, semicolon, pi over 100 to 2 pi is your respective range, so 0, semicolon, range. The number in the middle is your incrementation, so it's from 0 to 2 pi with pi over 100 incrementation. The next line is your y line, which is your function line, which is telling the computer what function to graph on these parameters. Thirdly and finally is the third line, which tells the computer to actually go. This is the graph associated with the previous set of syntax, as you can see, from 0 to 2 pi with pi over 100 incrementation. Graphing line plots. As seen below under the plot function, there are several different types of plots to choose from regular two-dimensional line plots to more intricate plots using the line plot format. On the left-hand side, those are your different types of commands. Now you'll see plot, plot tree, stairs, error bar, area, and stacked plot. These are the different types of commands that allow you to do different types of things. So a regular plot will be a 2D line plot, plot 3 is a 3D line plot, so on and so forth. A very useful skill to have is to know how to make your graphs look the way you want them to. So a very important piece to graphing is not just the graph itself, but also designing it to look the way you want it to. How you can do that is some of the syntax below. What you'll do is you will incorporate these particular pieces of information after your command line. So for example, if we look here at the plot line, it would say plot x, y, then you would have a comma and any sort of associated accessories you would like to add would be in quotation marks. So you would see the solid line, dotted line, dash dot line. You have different types of markers if you want to incorporate markers, different types of colors, things like that that are associated with each particular graph. This is an example of what we were just referring to. So if you look at the syntax, you'll see the x parameter, these particular y functions to be graphed on those parameters. Then you will see where it says plot. It says plot x, y, 1, and then in quotations it says g. If you look at the graph, you'll see a solid green line that is associated with y1. Each one of those particular quotation marks is associated with the previous ordered pair. So previous ordered pairs are x, y1, g, x, y2, b, dash, dash, o, so on and so forth. That must be incorporated to your function when defining the graph. Graphing scatter plots. Scatter plots are very similar to line plots, but the only real exception is that scatter plots do not connect the way that line plots do. Also keeping in mind that, as you saw earlier, from the particular table of commands, you have a bunch of different commands for plot itself. For scatter, it's just the actual scatter function. So it will actually just scatter what you tell it to. This is an example of a scatter plot. As you can see on the left-hand side, it says your x parameter. We are graphing 200 equally spaced values, and then you can see the y function, which is just the cosine function plus an arran function, and then the actual scatter command. In conclusion, whether you are someone who has just started getting interested in graphing software or someone who has been around long enough and just enjoys learning something new, MATLAB is very interesting and a very versatile software. For more information, please check out my comprehensive guide. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.